Anthropology is an ever-growing and changing field of study, allowing for the accommodation of new perspectives, information, and methodologies. In recent years, the development of advanced technologies has allowed anthropologists to take their research to new levels and have helped to reveal a plethora of new information. Throughout this presentation, I will be talking about some of the advances in technology that have allowed for more in-depth research into the remains of past individuals, as well as presenting some case studies to illustrate the impact these new methods have had. Some of the technologies I will be talking about are carbon-14 dating, stable isotope analysis, DNA sequencing, and skeletal reconstruction. Carbon-14 dating is a way of determining the age of certain archaeological artifacts of a biological origin up to about 50,000 years old, and is one of the first radiometric dating methods developed. This method was invented by Willard Libby in late 1940s and is used in dating things such as bone, cloth, wood, and plant fibers that were created in the relatively recent past by human activities. The tissue of every organism absorbs carbon-14 isotopes from the atmosphere. When the organism dies, the flow of C14 is interrupted and any C14 absorbed during its life gradually disappears, with a half-life of 5,730 years. The ratio of normal carbon, C12, to carbon-14 in the air and in all living things at any given time is nearly constant. By looking at the ratio of C12 to C14 in the sample using a mass spectrometer, it is possible to calculate how long ago an organism lived. In September 1991, Otzi the Iceman was discovered and has since become a world sensation. Indisputable proof of the authenticity and extraordinary age of the Iceman and his possessions was provided by C14 analysis. 4 different scientific institutions analyzed tissue samples from the corpse and the artifacts and determined that Otzi the Iceman lived between 3,350 to 3,100 BC. Now, why was this such an amazing thing? Well, the manner in which Otzi was found and the fact that he is such a well-preserved natural mummy allows for anthropologists to gain a look at the daily life of the people from this time period, especially since Otzi was buried in a special manner. He died right where he was found and was dressed as he would be on any normal day with his daily tools. Isotope analysis is the identification of an isotopic signature using the distribution of certain stable isotopes and chemical elements. This can be applied to a food web to make it possible to draw direct inferences regarding diet, trophic level, and subsistence. The application of stable isotope analysis to archaeological research is about 30 years old, and since this innovative method was conducted in the mid-1970s, the variety and number of applications have exploded. Variations in isotope ratios are measured using mass spectrometry, which separates the different isotopes of an element on the basis of their mass-to-charge ratio. Bone recovered from archaeological sites can be analyzed isotopically for information regarding diet and migration. Tooth enamel and soil surrounding remains may also be used in isotopic analysis. Isotopic analysis using certain elements found in tooth enamel have been utilized in archaeology to determine diet, change in water resource, migration, and change in culture. In Mesoamerica, the city of Copan rose in importance mainly because of Yaxcucmo, a king who arrived in Copan in 427 AD. The origins of Yaxcucmo remained vague until isotopic analysis was performed on the teeth and bones of his remains. Tooth enamel bears the isotopic signature of the food and water of one's early childhood. Thus, through the analysis of strontium in Yaxcucmo's tooth enamel, researchers were able to determine that his isotopic signature corresponded to the values of Tikal, a city north of Copan. This discovery was significant because until this information was revealed, anthropologists believed that Yaxcucmo originated from Teotihuacan, due to the fact that artisans of this time period depicted him in Teotihuacan trappings to illustrate his association with the site center. Isotopic analysis allowed researchers to track the true origins of Yaxcucmo, illustrating just how useful this technology can be. DNA sequencing is the process of determining the precise order of nucleotides within a DNA molecule and can be used to determine the sequence of individual genes, larger genetic regions, whole chromosomes, or entire genomes. DNA sequencing can also be applied to studying how different organisms are related and how they evolved, making it a great tool for anthropologists to utilize. There are many methods for DNA sequencing, and I don't have the time to get into all of them, so just know there's a lot. By examining DNA sequences in different populations, scientists can determine the closest of relationships between or within them. Certain similarities in genetic makeup let anthropologists determine whether or not different groups of people share a common geological origin. This is significant because it allows us to trace patterns of migration and settlement, which gives helpful insight as to how contemporary populations have formed and progressed over time. Perhaps the most significant case for DNA sequencing is the work done by Svante Pääbo. He and his team reported the first complete mtDNA sequence for Neanderthal, which gives researchers more information about the relationship between modern humans and Neanderthals. One of his studies even produced evidence consistent with interbreeding between Neanderthals and anatomically modern Homo sapiens. This discovery revealed that between 1 to 4% of the Eurasian human genome seems to come from Neanderthals, shocking many experts due to the fact that previous evidence suggested Neanderthals made little to no contribution to human inheritance. This evidence of interbreeding changed how we saw the expansion of modern humans out of Africa, refuting the previous belief that anatomically modern humans replaced archaic hominids without any interbreeding. Forensic facial reconstruction is the process of recreating the face of an individual from their skeletal remains. It is the most subjective and controversial technique in the field of forensic anthropology. Despite this, facial reconstruction has proved successful enough that research and methodological developments continue to advance. Facial reconstructions have been created for remains of historical value and for remains of prehistoric hominids and humans. Forensic reconstruction techniques aren't limited to just the face, but can also be applied to entire skeletons. These reconstructions usually require both an artist and a forensic anthropologist. Computer programs can create three-dimensional reconstructions by manipulating scanned photographs of the remains, stock photographs of facial features, and other available reconstructions. These computer approximations are usually the most effective because they do not appear too artificial. In 2005, scientists created a bust of King Tutankhamun of ancient Egypt using 3D CT scans of his mummy. Forensic anthropologist Jean-Noël Vignal was able to use the scan data to determine the basic measurements and features of Tut's face. In 2014, though, scientists were able to create a 3D computer full-body model of the young king. The results have been shocking, revealing that King Tut had a club foot, a pronounced overbite, and girlish hips. The results were built using more than 2,000 computerized tomography scans of the pharaoh's body. This amazing advancement in reconstructive technology could be used to help anthropologists gain more insight into the individuals they are studying, allowing them to see what they really looked like when they were alive. There are many more technologies available for anthropologists to use than the four I have talked about, such as satellite imagery, remote sensing technology, and X-ray fluorescence. Like the ones mentioned previously, these and others have all aided researchers in making new discoveries and helping anthropologists to better understand humans in all aspects of their past and present. While what we can accomplish with these technologies is quite extraordinary, we must all understand how important it is to continue advancing them. Future developments could reveal information that will change anthropology as a field of study drastically and completely alter how we as anthropologists see our research.